Welcome to Lesson 2, Distinctions between Small, Medium and Large Business. So our learning intention today is to be able to distinguish between small, medium and large size businesses. So how do we measure business size? At this stage there's no universally accepted definition of what a small, a medium or a large business is. So we use a number of different characteristics to describe whether a business is a small, medium or large. So why bother? Who cares? Really, it's for a common use of terms. So reading the textbook, reading other articles and videos that I'll give you this year, and if you pursue business next year, you'll have a common understanding of the terms of small and large and the difference between them. So it's really about a common use of the term in the subject. So some of the common measurements of business size: legal structure, the type of ownership, decision making, market share, sources of finance are some of the characteristics that we use to distinguish between businesses. Let's first look at a small business. So to be classified as a small business, there must be less than 20 employees. The legal structure generally needs to be a sole trader partnership. And the type of ownership is independently owned and operated. So the person who is working or running the store also owns the store. And the market share is small. Now, when we talk about market share, it's the portion that business has of the whole market. So, for instance, if it's a bread shop like this guy here that we can see on the screen, what's the portion of bread rolls he sells in Australia? So does he sell 1% of all the bread rolls sold in Australia? So that would be a small market share. And decision making. So in a small business, the owner responsible generally makes all of the decisions. Now this allows for a simple and quick decision making structure. Now let's look at medium-sized businesses. So the photo I've got on the screen there is a resort style business. So hotels, motels generally fall in the medium-sized business. So the number of employees is between 20 and 199. The legal structure is partnership and private company. Now we will go into the difference between legal structures later on in the course. So again, the types of ownership that's similar to the legal structure is partnership and private company. The market share is medium. Now, medium-sized businesses are commonly dominant in a geographical region. So it might be that a business dominates Victoria, but they don't dominate the whole country, or they don't dominate internationally in general. Decision making, so the owner is basically again responsible for the majority of decisions. However, it's a little bit more complicated because it's a private company. There needs to be some directors involved, so it's not quite as simple as the small business where the fish and chip owner who also works in the organisation just makes all the decisions. Usually in a medium-sized business it needs to go through a director type hierarchy and decision making. Now we're on to large size businesses. So the number of employees is 200 or more. The legal structure is generally a public company. So that means that it generally has thousands of different owners. In fact, you could just become an owner by getting onto the internet and buying shares in that company. So again, the type of ownership is by a shareholder. Now, the market share. So large businesses generally dominate the market, and it's quite common for large businesses to operate out of a number of different countries. So an example of a large company would be McDonald's, KFC. Obviously, these companies operate out of a number of different countries and dominate their market in those countries. Now, decision making in large companies tends to be quite complex. There is a number of different levels of employees. So you've got the directors, you've got the senior and middle management, you've got people on the factory floor. So decision making tends to be quite complex. And also the decisions that are made, people need to be accountable to the shareholders, as we talked about previously. This could be thousands and thousands of people. So decision making in large businesses tends to be really quite a complex thing. Okay, thank you for listening to lesson 2. Hopefully you start to have an understanding of the differences between small, medium and large businesses.